Greetings, viewers and subscribers. This is BVI Channel 1, where we tell you nothing but undiluted truth. But this very truth, it is going to be coming from the spokesman of the Kingdom of Darkness called APC in the name of Oshiomhole. You know, the man have assumed that office with full chest. Listen to what he said, reaffirming the position of Peter Obi when he condemned Tinubu's led government for embarking on the coastal highway, abandoning other dilapidated highways in Nigeria.
More that I've had, I think the Federal Minister of Works need to be guided. Because whereas we have all these old roads that are in bad shape, he proposes the construction of new roads when existing roads are not there. Because 3 weeks ago, I understand 20 new roads were approved. Yet, sir, between Edo and Delta, there is manifest bias by the Minister of Works. You cannot go to Warri and you are here, Senator Dafinoni. You can't go to Warri from Benin. You can't go to Asaba from Benin. You can't go to Auchi from Benin. You can't go from Auchi to Okene from Benin. What have we done wrong? I think the minister has shown consistently there is no federal allocation. It is Mr. President goodwill. Mr. President goodwill that he directed that they should use tax credit to deal with part of this section. Otherwise, all the budget over the past 3 years, in spite of the first motion under your leadership that was moved to draw his attention, the Federal Minister of Works has failed deliberately to include that portion bordering Delta and Edo in the national budget. So I plead with you to urge him to be more balanced and have national overview of his responsibility.
Good. Now, the next thing I am expecting, if Dave Umeahi is not a hypocrite, if Dave Umeahi is not a slave to APC, let him voice out to oppose or attack Oshiomhole, because that is exactly what he did when Peter Obi stated this.
The Kaduna bypass will take you hours. You cannot go from Abuja to Lokoja. You can't drive from Lokoja to Auchi. You can't go from Auchi to Benin. The East-West Road has not been completed. You can't even drive from Benin to Sapele to Warri. You can't go from Calabar to Uyo. I can go on and on. Let's fix all this. Can't drive today from Enugu to Nsukka. You can't go from Nsukka, where we call Ubolafo, to Otugbo. Can't go from Otugbo to Makode. These roads are in a mess. You need to fix them. So we have enough network of roads that are already existing. Same thing, Lagos, Ibadan. Can't go to Ibadan. There's places you can't go, you can't drive to. Go to Jabode, Benin, all the. No. So why are we starting new one? And I stand by it.
And it is clear. In fact, sometimes I'm wondering what Oshiomhole is trying to achieve inside APC as their spokesman when things like this come up. He is the devil's advocate, if I may say, because sometimes you see him speak the truth and the same man still speak the lie. Thus, he has two tongues in his mouth. Just very recently, we also saw how he attacked Peter Obi because he stated facts. Maybe it's because he's not coming from Oshiomhole. That is why he is attacking Peter Obi. Now he's the only one that should say that very position of truth, which everybody knows. Reasonably, everybody should know that you cannot just continue to say you are approving and constructing new roads, new highways, whereas the ones you had already are death traps. Does it make sense? Especially when those roads have alternatives. When those roads you are trying to construct have alternatives, already have alternatives, which needed to just be fixed. If not for the fact that the man is looking for multiple projects in order to, in the guise of it, launder public funds. Because you know how the game plays out. Politicians hide under projects to steal public funds by inflating the construction prices. Of course, we've seen that happen. Public procurement in Nigeria is one thing people in office will always die for, because that is the only way, or the most simplest way for them to siphon public fund. Because if that is not the case, why is Adams Oshiomhole on the neck of Dave Umeahi and the rest are just keeping quiet? Well, I just hope it will not be like the nays and the ayes have it of the current Senate.
By Senator Oshiomhole, for one reason.
Sorry. Your time is up, because
I've already moved the motion. I've already seconded.
Your job is to second. Your job is not to reopen. We've been here for 3 years and you still don't read the rules. When you have additional prayer, you go to the additional prayer. By that time, debate is over. It is important for you to set a good example. As somebody who has been in the Senate for 3 years.
I've seconded.
So you have seconded?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Distinguished colleagues, since this motion is already in the rules, those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it.
Because that is where it is going to end. When they go say who and who support, nays or ayes, you see them display this kind of. In fact, the Akpabio-led Senate is the worst in the history of Nigeria. I just hope Adams Oshiomhole will save his breath for 2027 election, because a big storm is coming to hit them. My name is Asuchino Peters, your advocate for good governance. Let me share this video to everyone. I'm signing out. Bye-bye for now.